Hello classical guitarists! So I recently did my level 5 RCM guitar exam and I'm quite proud to be an officially intermediate guitarist. The exam program requires 3 repertoire, 1 from each list and 2 etudes. I played the recordings in background, so I recorded pretty close to the exam date, so it sounds pretty close to my actual performance. I also linked them in the descriptions if you're interested to check out the full versions. My first piece is Babybaião by Roland Dyens from list C. It was the most difficult piece for me and I loved doing the worst piece first, so the rest of the exam couldn't get any more worse. I chose this piece because I just love percussive guitar as it really has the pop song vibe. It is definitely quite a challenge for me as there's lots of dynamic markings and it's tough to remember them all. Examiner comments suggested adding more contour and shaping the melodic line, also deepen contrast with more expressive details, so I guess that's like a nice way of saying exaggerate more dynamic changes. Next, I chose Divertimento LP40 number 6 by Mauro Giuliani. This guy's my favorite classical guitar composer so far. He reminds me a lot of Museo Clementi's piano compositions as they really do work on technique foundations. This piece itself is not difficult to start with, but it's quite tough to raise the tempo without rushing through the 16th notes. Luckily, it's a short piece. The examiner suggested shaping phrases more and also differentiate dynamics and articulation with the repeated patterns, which I kind of get her point, but if it's not written to play it differently, it shouldn't be mandatory to play it differently. My final repertoire is Se Io M'accorgo from list A. I thought I should have at least one slow piece, so here it is. It's a good practice for bar chords, but aside from that, this piece is the easiest in my repertoire selection, so I saved it until last. The examiner's comments seem to suggest that in the lower octaves it should be a bit more louder and play with more legato. At least that's how I understood it. Interesting, I got the same mark on all of the repertoire pieces, which has honestly never happened to me before, so I guess I am an all-rounder. Moving on to the etudes. My first etude is Allegretto Grazioso, also by Mauro Giuliani. I just love his compositions. Interestingly, the edition in IMSOP is a shortened version without the 16 notes though. I guess they just had to add something to make it level 5. Despite of the added fast section, it's still kinda easy though, because there's not much chord transitions. The examiner comment seems to suggest that some of the notes are too loud in the opening, yet the final chords should be louder. Last but never the least, my second etude is Lesson 35 by Dionisio Aguado. This etude feels like a different level than Allegretto Grazioso, just because it's significantly longer due to all the non-skippable repeats, and also the chord transitions are far more challenging. Thank goodness we don't have to memorize this. The examiner's comments suggest that the notes should be played with more clarity and also keep the accompaniment softer than the melody, and also aim for a warmer tone. I guess the first 2 criticism, but there's nothing much you can do to the tone of the guitar, as it's dependent on the quality of the guitar and the quality of the strings, so I guess we can get stalked for being too poor. Somehow the etudes are marked just as etudes rather than 2 separate sections for etude 1 and etude 2. Since I couldn't find any of the commentary suggesting that one is significantly worse than the other, I'm going to assume that I did equally on both. One other fun fact is that at the end of the examiner actually asked if anyone knows I'm playing guitar, and then she's like, you should let people know so you can share your gifts with them. I guess that's another way of saying that I was performing above average, although she says the same thing to everyone. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful and thank you so much for watching until the end. Hopefully I will see you next time. Peace!